What's going on, everyone? Welcome inside the DEUCE VODKA pregame show. I am Josh. As you can see, Jay is not yet here. Once again, he's at a meeting or on a call or something. He texted me like 10 minutes ago and he said he was going to be a few minutes late, which means I'm just going to get rolling. Audio is working, which means we are ready for a great show today. As always, the DEUCE VODKA pregame show is brought to you by, as I mentioned, DEUCE VODKA. Pick it up at all your Sobeys, Safeway, most of your Liquor Connect locations. Check online and you can see where you can pick yours up as well. Grab some Nation beer. If you haven't yet, we got these fancy new labels. I believe we're doing some sort of contest today where you can win some free Nation gear if you post a picture of you with your Nation beer. So head over to our Instagram, check that out. You can get yourself a brand new Oily Boys t-shirt or just any of the amazing gear that we've dropped in the last 2 weeks. So since Jay is not here yet, I'm leaving it up to all of you. I need you to be a part of the show. Please comment your hot takes about tonight's game, any questions you have surrounding the Edmonton Oilers, and also at the end of the show, we have a huge announcement about something brand new coming to the Nation Network. So stay tuned to the end of the show. Jay knows about it, but I haven't told him we're going to tell you guys about it yet today. So make sure you stay tuned. Big announcement coming at the end of the show. All right. Let's jump into it. Rematch. The Edmonton Oilers tonight once again taking on the Winnipeg Jets after what was probably, well, I was going to say one of the best performances we've seen out of Connor McDavid yet this season, but, frankly, that's just a vintage Connor McDavid performance. Going into Monday night's game, the big conversation was, is Connor McDavid going to hit the McCentury point? Is he going to get 100 points? Going into the game, I think he was 19 points away, or now he's 19 points away with 10 games left to play, something wild like that, but it's seeming more and more realistic for Connor McDavid to hit the 100-point mark. Let me know in the comments right now. Do you think Connor McDavid is going to hit the 100-point mark? I don't know. My only worry is that they might not play him for the last 2 or 3 games of the season. So what do they do? If he has 3 points left to get to 100 points and they sit him for the last game of the year, dang, that's going to suck. But, I'd rather have a healthy Connor McDavid for playoffs. So, as always, comment in the chat what you're thinking about tonight's game, your hot takes surrounding the Oilers. Matthew Gibson says, McDavid hits 100 tonight. 19 points in one game. Matthew? Yeah, nice. Matt thinks that McDavid will hit the 100 mark. Yeah, it's wild. To think that he could get 100 points in 56 games, that's absolutely absurd. Okay. Let's talk about the Edmonton Oilers versus the Winnipeg Jets. I don't know what it is, but the Oilers have just had the Jets number this season. And what is looking more and more like every day going to be the first-round playoff matchup for the Oilers taking on the Winnipeg Jets. So, honestly, at this point, I'm let's just start playoffs now. The Oilers literally dominate the Jets. It's not even close. The Jets have no shot against the Oilers at any time at all. So I believe the season series at this point is 6-2 for the Oilers. Let me go to Jason Greger's GDB and see here. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the season series is 6-2 for the Oilers. Another good point is, the Oilers started 1-4 at home this season, and now they're 13-5 since. I know they're in Winnipeg tonight. They don't have an airport, which is crazy, but all of a sudden the Oilers, after a scary start to the season, they're just unreal. But we don't need to talk about that. Okay, our opening headline is Rematch. What do you expect tonight out of the Winnipeg Jets? Do you think it's going to be a similar performance by them? Obviously, you can't really say a similar performance because they just sucked on Monday. But, this is a team, the Jets, that, they're missing Nikolai Ehlers. I don't think Adam Lowry's playing. I imagine Laurent Brossoit gets the start tonight. I haven't checked DFO to see if he actually is. But, the Oilers have had Connor Hellebuyck's number so far this year. I don't know what it is. If Connor just, can't live up to the hype of playing against the ultimate Connor, the King Connor and Connor McDavid. But, this Jets team, they're going to come out angry tonight. What do you guys think? You know, I'm looking in the comments here. Leslie says Jets will be angry and hard to stop, which I can't agree. Chris is predicting a physical game tonight. Yeah, it's going to be physical. Tyler Cohen says McDavid gets 5 points tonight. Could you imagine? The Oilers just come out and put up another touchdown against the Jets. That'd be ridiculous. Raj says the new guys looked really good and will only get better with team and chemistry. We're going to talk about the new guys. I'm hoping Jay shows up. I hope he shows up so we can talk about the new guys. That was one thing I wanted to talk to him about. But anyways, hopefully he'll get here and then we'll talk about it. Chris says, Jets are crybabies. Very dirty team. The Jets just came off of a wildly physical series against the Leafs. Did any of you guys watch those games? I know that Nikolai Ehlers and Joe Thornton got into it. There was a bunch going on where Joe Thornton was punching Nikolai Ehlers or something. And there was a bunch of, I don't know, what's the word? Animosity? I don't know. Anyways, Leslie says, new guys looked really good. Yeah, the new guys did look good. Chris Hogger says, going to be a different game tonight. Yeah, it's going to be a different game tonight. We're going to see a very different Jets team. You could see just I can't talk. What is the word? Dejection? Yeah, I think it's dejection. Is that a word? You could see they were just they just didn't have it. They were just dejected. Yeah, that's the word. Leslie says, it was ugly. Tyler Cohen says he's probably at the dog park. Yeah, Jay probably is at the freaking dog park with Hot Dog right now, getting the inside sources. Maybe he'll tell us who's going to score tonight then. Okay, why don't we talk about the lineup? Jason Gregor asked Dave Tippett this morning, what does your lineup look like for tonight's game? And he said, exact same lineup. So which means McDavid, Puljujarvi, Cahoon. I liked Cahoon's game last Monday. Let me know what you think about Cahoon. I thought he was just good. I think their expected goals for percentage was 99% or something wild like that. But Draisaitl, Nuge, Yamamoto, we got to get Nuge going, man. Nuge, you got to get going. But we need to see something 5-on-5 out of that line. McLeod, Archibald, Shore. We will talk about McLeod. I liked his game. I like Shore's game. Haas, Neal, and Chason. Need Neal to get those feet going, man. Those things are bricks right now. I love you, James Neal, but you've been terrible. Nurse, Barry, Kulikov, Larson, Jones, Bear. We think it's going to be Smith. They're going to start. It's either Koskinen or Smith. Well, obviously, it's either Koskinen or Smith. I guess it could be Stalock. But, one of them is going to start tonight. One of them is going to start tomorrow. We will see what goes on. Ben says dejection is a word. Thank you, Ben. I'm 3 years removed or 2 years removed from the Nate radio and television program. So, all of that journalism and newscasting skills that I learned during my time there, they're all gone. So as I mentioned, Nikolai Ehlers not in the lineup for the Jets once again. Adam Lowry still out as well, which means Vesalainen and Harkins remain in the lineup, as well as Lewis and Perreault will play on that third line with Stastny and Vesalainen. Hellebuck, according to the GDB by Jason Gregor, is getting the start tonight. I'm going to pull it up real quick here and see if that's true. Is Connor Hellebuck getting the start tonight? That would be wild. Imagine that. Raj says, Cahoon had to prove he deserves to stay, and last game he showed that. Just need consistency from him, and he can be re-signed for term, or depending term and money. Yeah, that's going to be interesting. I think that this is going to be a really important stretch drive at the end of the season here for Dominic Cahoon, because it's going to come down to a decision by Ken Holland if he thinks that Dominic Cahoon is the guy that he wants to bring back for next season. Will it be on another one-year deal? Could he potentially look at it and say, yeah, we want to get this guy inked for maybe a 2-year, $1 million a year sort of deal? If Cahoon brings it on the stretch drive here, and if he can really show up in the playoffs, especially on that top line with McDavid, Cahoon could see himself getting a little ticket come the offseason here. Okay. Andy says Smith is in, I believe. Andy, I think you're right. I'm going to check right now and see. According to DFO, it looks like confirmed Connor Hellebuck and confirmed Mike Smith. So Connor Hellebuck and Mike Smith are getting the start tonight. Same goaltending matchup that we saw on Monday night. And man, yeah, Smith had the upper edge in that one. You want to talk about a guy that's just playing ridiculous right now? 36 stops on 37 shots. He's tied in the top 5 for goaltenders when it comes to winning percentage right now. And the only goaltender in the top 5 of winning percentage that has a better save percentage is Jack Campbell. And we all know Jack Campbell stinks. Chris says Smith is our man. Raj says McLeod gets his first tonight. All right, Jay's not here yet, so why don't we just talk about it? What did we think about Ryan McLeod and Dmitry Kulikov's performance on Monday night? We were talking about this on State of the Nation yesterday afternoon. Which one of those two guys kind of impressed you more yesterday? Or more so, actually, the question that Tyler presented to us was, which one of these two do we think is going to be more important coming down the stretch drive for the Edmonton Oilers? You know, if you look at the starting night for the Oilers when it comes to playoffs, do we think that the Oilers are going to be more important relying on Dmitry Kulikov or Ryan McLeod? Like, who's going to play a bigger role come playoff time? You know, we had a split decision on it. I said Ryan McLeod because I think that if Dmitry Kulikov is going to be effective, you're not even going to notice him. You know, he's going to be a guy that's just going to be steady on the back end. You know, with those stay-at-home, shutdown defensemen, the way that they're effective is if you're not talking about them. So let me know, who do you think is going to be more important in the playoffs for the Edmonton Oilers? Ryan McLeod or Dmitry Kulikov? All right, Jay just texted me. He's coming. I told him I started, but whatever. Leslie says Smith is awesome. Mariah says, Montana Getty, are we placing an order for 2 of the Oily Boys shirts? Mariah, Montana, I think you guys got to get on these. Are you kidding me? The Oily Boys shirts are flying off the racks right now. Maybe we can get you a discount on it. We'll see. But if you haven't yet, pick up your Oily Boys shirts because these things are wild. Anyways, Landon says 2020 Vezina versus 2021 Vezina. Yeah, imagine that. Smith, 39-year-olds in the Vezina conversation. Who said it? It was Jason Gregor that said he wouldn't be surprised if he finished top 5 in voting. Top 3 is going to be a little stingy, but I think Smith could finish top 5 in Vezina Trophy voting. Raj says Hellebuck was going to start for redemption. Yeah, Hellebuck, he's one of those guys that he wants to crease back. You know, the Oilers have had his number this year. Honestly, I'm kind of surprised that Paul Maurice didn't just not give him the option. Like, why would you not go to Laurent Brossoit? Hellebuck sucks against the Oilers. But anyways, I'm okay with him starting Hellebuck. McDavid can just dust him again. Let's see. Raj looked great. McLeod was flying out there, and Cooley was calm and collective, but did give the puck away a few times, but recovered without being scoring on. Yeah, that's one thing that I noticed about Dmitry Kulikov as well. You know, I was kind of surprised how often he jumped up in the rush offensively. Like, did you notice that as well? I kind of found that there was moments that, you know, we had talked so much coming into the season, coming into, you know, Dmitry Kulikov getting traded to the Oilers, that they said, oh, he's such a shutdown defenseman, you know, stay-at-home guy, just steady in his own end. And all of a sudden, I saw myself a few times last game noticing Dmitry Kulikov jump up in the rush. And, you know, that's not kind of what he's charted as, but if he wants to bring that element to his game, Dmitry, man, good on you. Jay says, I'm coming, Josh. So Jay is on his way. He's going to roll in here at any second. I may as well turn his mic on, get it all ready for him. Jay, if you're still watching, man, your mic's going to be on and ready to go. So just come in here. Actually, I'm not going to turn it on because then it might be an echo. But anyways, Rebecca says Connor McDavid in the playoffs. James Lee says Bear and Jones look great together. You know, I have time for Ethan Bear right now. Tough start to the season for Bearsy. I was on the train that I was trying to get him traded for Jake DeBrusk. I'll wear that, but he's really turned it around. You know, there was a lot of people that were saying if we can get Ethan Bear from last season in the playoffs and down the stretch drive of the regular season, then he's going to be a guy that's going to be super important on the back end. And Caleb Jones, you know, you take the good with the bad. His underlying numbers are really good according to the analytics people. I'm an eye test guy, so I don't really care about that. But you know, Caleb Jones has shown flashes as well, and I'll be interested to see if they keep that pair together come playoff time. Leslie says, Maurice is making some odd coaching choices. Seems very confrontational. Yeah, did you guys see that? I believe it was on Saturday or Sunday or whatever that he benched Mark Scheifele, like just out of nowhere, because Mark Scheifele made like a bad decision, and he benched him for 17 minutes of the third period. I think we got to start having the conversation, man. Is Paul Maurice losing the locker room? You didn't hear you didn't hear it here first, but is Paul Maurice losing the Jets locker room? I digress. Raj says Kulikov is like Barry, wants to prove himself that he's more than a defensive type D-man. Well, we know that Tyson Barrie isn't a defensive type D-man. Like, Tyson Barrie is all offense. Tyson Barrie has no defense in his game. People come at me because I'm such a Tyson Barrie fan. And listen, I like offense. I like when I see Tyson Barrie jump up in the rush. I like to see my defensemen put up points. That's why I'm so big on Darnell Nurse this year. But Tyson Barrie is kind of a tire fire in his own end. But that's okay. Tyler Cohen says consistency is key for Ethan. Hopefully he keeps it up. Yeah, Ethan Bear has to be consistent or else he's just not good. Well, I guess that's kind of obvious. If you're not going to be consistent, you're not going to be good. But, you know, Ethan Bear's game can go like this. But whatever. Okay, our next headline is the DEUCE VODKA player mode. I'm going to wait until Jay gets here to do that. So I also don't want to talk about Yakupov until Jay gets here because I kind of put that headline in there so that he would be here and we could talk about this because it's kind of a hypothetical. So get ready. I have some hypotheticals coming for when Jay gets here. The question I'm going to present to him is, if you could take one former Edmonton Oiler They came here and it just never really worked out. Like the whole situation didn't work out. You know, kind of it was sad. Like if you could give the Jesse Puljujarvi treatment to any former Oiler, who would you pick? Like if you could bring them back and give them one more shot at this roster, whether it's, you know, you could even say a guy like Ryan Strome. Ryan Strome is almost scoring at a point per game basis right now. So if you could take any of those former Oilers, like let's say in the last 10 years, and put them back on this Oilers roster, who would you pick? You know, we got Neil Yakupov, you could go Ryan Strome, you could go Magnus Pujärvi, you could go Taylor Hall, you could go Jordan Eberle. Like who's your former Oiler in the last, let's say 7, 8, 9, 10 years? If you could put them back on this roster and give them one more shot, who would it be? Mine's Taylor Hall. Or sorry, mine's not Taylor Hall. Well, maybe it is Taylor Hall, but it's Yakupov, man. It's Yakupov. Yakupov would be so electric on McDavid's wing. Raj says Pronger. James Lee says Petrie. Petrie's a good one. That's a really good one. You know, I feel like it's almost new and, well, not new, but I feel like it's almost a common trend nowadays in the NHL. The defensemen are peaking later in their careers. You know, you look at a guy like Shea Weber, who, when that trade happened, when he went from Nashville to Montreal, everyone was like, oh, like Montreal just got fleeced. Montreal just traded their young and upcoming defenseman, PK Subban. He went to Nashville, and then look what happened. PK Subban is doing nothing in New Jersey now, and Shea Weber is in the Norris Trophy conversation in the North Division. No, he's probably not even going to get the top votes in the North. I think it'll be Darnell Nurse, but like Shea Weber is a guy that just revitalized his career, and same with Jeff Petrie. But anyways, let's look at a couple others here. Ben says Eberle, liked that guy, fell off the map a bit. Yeah, that was a tough one. He kind of got ran out of the city after that terrible 17 playoffs that he had. And then he went to New York, and he's playing with Matt Barzal. And it seemed like last year in the playoffs, like he was kind of a key team, or was a key guy on that team. Tyler Cohen says, I like Perron. Yeah, David Perron, he was a guy that I kind of wish could have worked out more. I think the Oilers ended up swapping him for a first-round pick, so it was a good return. But anyways, Phil Quinn says, I'd take Pronger and keep him away. Okay, Phil. Sean says Petrie. Landon says Eberle. Eberle's a good one. James Lee says that little French guy. Are you talking about David Desharnais? David Desharnais? Playoff hero David Desharnais? Matt says Sheldon Souray. Don Shaw says Gagne. Yeah, Gagne, he'll always have a heart, or he'll always have a place in all the hearts of Oilers fans. Like he's a lifelong Oiler. Like who else is there like Sam Gagne that you even put in that same category that he's just a guy that just like breathes Edmonton? Like, I don't know. I almost put Pat Maroon in that category too, where he'll just always be in the hearts of Edmonton Oilers fans. Who else is it? Let us know. Sam Gagne. Who else is Sam Gagne for you? Matt says Sheldon Souray, if I didn't say that already. Ben says, I'd welcome back Magnus, but his jersey would have to read Magnus above the numbers. Yeah. Matt says Hemsky. Raj says, I would take back the draft picks for Griffin Reinhart. Yeah, well, if you think about it, those draft picks that you picked for Griffin Reinhart could have been any one of, I believe it could have been Jake DeBrusk. It could have been, I think, maybe Nikita Kucherov. What draft was that? Was that the 16 draft? Let's take a look here. Past NHL drafts. Can you please let me know right now what year that was that they did that trade? Let's go Jake DeBrusk, see what year he got drafted in. Jake DeBrusk got drafted in 2015. So at 16, the Oilers could have had Matt Barzal, Kyle Connor, Thomas Chabot, Evgeny Svechnikov, Brock Besser, Travis Konechny, Jack Roslovic. Like the list goes on of guys they could have picked there, but I know we harp on that a lot. Okay, let's see a couple others here. Uh-oh! Here comes trouble. The man is here. Jay?
You did it.
You did it.
Oh, man.
What the heck? What's going on?
Oh.
Is it a busy day?
I had a busy day. I had like a investor meeting.
Oh.
And it was supposed to end at 4, and it ended at like 4:44.
That's okay. Okay.
Sorry, everyone. Okay, what have we covered? Oilers are playing tonight.
We've covered a lot, but I got to get to a few more of these comments before we start talking because
sorry, don't let me interrupt.
We had a topic going on and people are buzzing on this. And actually, I'm going to present you the question as well. Raj, we looked at the draft. The draft was 2015, so it was Matt Barzal, Kyle Connor, Thomas Chabot were the next three that went. Ben Collier says 8-point game legend, which is Sam Gagne. Tyler's going to pick Taylor Hall. Raj says Barzal. Landon is right. It was 2015. People are saying Barzal now. Okay, the question that I presented was, I don't know if you saw it today, Nail Yakupov won a KHL championship. Oilers legend. So the question I presented was, if you could pick any former Oiler and give them the Jesse Puljujarvi shot at redemption, who would you pick? I picked Nail Yakupov. That's my guy. A lot of Jordan Eberle's, and I'm saying in the last like 7, 8, 9, 10 years. I picked Nail Yakupov. A lot of people picked Taylor Hall, Jordan Eberle, Matt Barzal, David Perron getting some love, Sam Gagner getting some love.
In terms of draft picks or just in terms of former Oilers?
Just former Oilers. Just former Oilers that you want one more shot at redemption. Ryan Strome's having a great year
Ryan
in New York.
Strome is a huge one. Because look who we put him on the third line and set him up to fail. And now you give him a little bit of a talent and look what he can do.
Well, he's playing with the bread man and he's got almost a point per game.
I often ask myself how we would be if we had Ryan Strome. So.
Yeah. Well, if we had Ryan Strome, he'd probably be playing with Connor McDavid.
The reason why it's more important to me than Eberle is because his salary was $3 million. Mm-hmm. That fits in real nice.
He made very, very little money.
Well, compared to Eberle, like yes, I loved Eberle, and it was shitty to see him go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't bring back Nail Yakupov. He was exciting, but I just
he's just so electric.
I know you want to love him, but I just don't. It just wouldn't work.
Yeah. Okay. You want to talk about tonight's game? Or do you want to talk a little bit about last Monday's game? We talked about Monday's game, but that was just crazy.
That was amazing.
Yeah,
that was
there's not much more you
game.
can say.
We just, like I said, we said in the last show, we just match up really well against Winnipeg. And, like, obviously it's a battle of the Connors, and our Connor is better.
Yeah.
We solve Hellebuck all the time. Oh, is he starting tonight?
Hellebuck and Smith getting the start. So it's a rematch for Monday.
Okay.
Which I'm kind of surprised about. I thought they'd start Brossoit, but...
Loving the Kahuna on the like that first line still looked okay.
Yeah, we talked about Cahoon, who is just all of a sudden now. You know, this is important for Dominic Cahoon coming down the stretch here.
Oh yeah,
he's on a 1-year deal. Like this is practically playing for another contract.
And we're giving him a great opportunity right now.
Great opportunity.
Connor McDavid. So just work hard, kid, because it's gonna work.
Raj says, "Crap, thought James Neal walked in." So he says you look like James Neal.
I appreciate that.
People have said that before,
but I do not. That is not the case.
We talked about the Oilers' lines, exact same. So Dave Tippett's going with the exact same lineup.
Why not?
Why don't we briefly touch on McLeod and Kulikov?
Oh.
What'd you think about the two performances?
McLeod, he just fit in. He fit in, and he was very noticeable. So, like, that's a good thing. On the defensive side, you don't want to be noticeable, but, like, he was noticeable. And, yeah, he can skate. And, yeah, I think he's forcing their hand to keep him in the lineup. So that's a really good story because that's a kid we drafted, that we've developed, and now he's earned his call-up, and he is paying dividends. He hasn't scored yet, but, like I don't care if he does.
Yeah.
Just go and don't be a liability. Yeah. Play hard. Use your big body and create chances, which he did.
Yep. Okay, here's a question for you. Tyler Yaremchuk asked us this yesterday on State of the Nation. Who do you think is going to be more important for the Oilers in the playoffs, or who do you think is going to have a bigger role, Kulikov or McLeod? Or who's going to be more important? Like who's more important to this lineup? Because I said Ryan McLeod, because I think that with Dmitry Kulikov and the style of game that he plays, like if he's just low-key and just plays his role and just we don't talk about him, then he's doing his job. But if Ryan McLeod really steps up here and has a Yamamoto-type performance, like he could be huge for this team in the playoffs. And then Dan Analytic from Oilersnation, and Dan came with the coldest take of all time, like possibly the coldest take I've ever heard. He thought that Kyle Turris would start game 1 of the playoffs over Ryan McLeod.
Let go of Kyle Turris.
He said because of the type of coach that Dave Tippett is, he will start Kyle Turris in game 1 over Ryan McLeod.
He made a comment too about Kyle Turris and another ON radio about.
I was baffled.
Yeah. Ryan McLeod is supplanting Kyle Turris for sure.
Kyle Turris is a strong wind away from the AHL.
Yeah. I'll take the Kulikov.
Okay.
Kulikov was interesting. He rushed the puck a few times.
Yeah, I said that. All of a sudden,
he moved the puck a little bit.
He jumped up in the rush way more than we thought.
But once again, like we need solid defense in the playoffs, so I'd put that as like a slightly higher priority to what we need from Ryan McLeod.
And that's what Raj just said. He said defense is huge in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So Don says McLeod is a younger, bigger Nuge. Speaking of Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, Jay.
5-on-5 point for Nuge last game.
5-on-5 points. Still one of 3 Oilers that is still negative at 5-on-5 over the last 3 games, but that's okay. We don't need to talk about that. Do you think that playing with Draisaitl and Yamamoto is going to get Nuge going here?
Yes.
Do you think it is?
It already is.
It needs to.
He got a point last game.
He did. A 5-on-5 point that's big.
That's
big. Yep. He matched Dominic Cahoon.
He's got a weapon. Wow. Dominic Cahoon's playing with Connor McDavid. Jesus.
Hey, but he's playing with Leon Draisaitl. the German Hall of Famer, on his way to a Hall of Fame career.
Oh, 100%.
100%. Do you want to do our DEUCE VODKA player modes? You got one? I haven't even thought of mine. I'm just going to think of mine on the spot.
Ooh, really? Well, then I want you to go first.
Okay. Pick a player and I'll give you one. Pick any player in the lineup.
No, I'm not.
No, you pick it. You pick it.
Too easy.
No,
for
you pick one and then I'll come up with a DEUCE VODKA player mode for him.
Okay, Alex Chason.
Alex Chason, I want him to enter. I am superior than 14% of all players that have ever played in the National Hockey League. According to NBC Sports, 8,100 players in history have played in the NHL. And Alex Chason scoring his 100th goal in the NHL on Monday night puts him in an elite category. Only 1,160 players in history have scored 100 goals in the NHL. So 16% of all NHL players of all time have scored 100 goals in the National League, and Alex Chason is one of them. So I want you to enter...
What mode?
Feather in my cap mode, that I am an elite scorer in the NHL, and I'm part of that 16%. I'm pretty sure that's the math.
Yeah. No, that's good. Hey,
That's pretty good for on the spot.
Yeah, that's good. Congrats, Chase, on a 100 goal. That's like I said.
I made a tweet.
16%.
I said, scoring 100 goals in the National League is sick. I wish I could do that. Scoring one goal is sick.
Oh, yeah.
He scored 100. Let's not downplay that.
No,
okay.
that was a good goal. It was a great play.
Do you have one?
Heads up by Larson.
Do you want me to give you a player?
Back to him. No,
let me give you a player.
No, I'm not.
Let me give you a player.
No, I gotta defend someone.
Caleb Jones.
No.
You're gonna go Nuge.
I'm going
He's
Nuge.
going Nuge.
My DEUCE VODKA player mode is Ryan Nugent, the Nuge Hopkins.
Elite 5-on-5 goal
I want him to enter elite 5-on-5 scorer mode. That's exactly what I want him to do. The dry line is reunited. Yamo's buzzing. Draisaitl's Draisaitl. Here's the chance. Here's the chance to quiet some of the haters.
There's no hate.
Turn down the language, the anti-Nuge language.
There's no anti-Nuge language.
It is enter pie in the face mode.
I'm a Nuge.
Put that pie in all your haters' face, Nuge, and get us some more 5-on-5 points.
I'm a Nuge truther. That's what I am. Listen,
if you're a Nuge truther, you believe.
I do believe, and I am wildly proud of Ryan Nugent-Hopkins that he was able to get a 5-on-5 point playing on the second line in a 6-1 win. I am wildly proud of him.
Everything is backhanded.
That's not backhanded. I just said I was proud of him.
Even the sarcasm gets translated over to you fine people.
No, I agree. I think Nuge is trending right now. And I think that having that RNH Dry and Yam
we
line
need
back
him to
together,
trend.
We need him to trend. Big time. Landon says Josh deserves the pie to the face right now.
Yes, he needs so much pie. He needs all the pie.
No. I love Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. I'm nothing but a supporter. Anything Edmonton Oilers related, I support.
Really? Even Nuge?
Yeah, I support Nuge. Sometimes. Okay. We already did our Yakupov as a champ thing. Okay, so throw in some more questions at us and then we'll get to betting. So Jay and I are going to pull up our sports books here and get all our numbers sorted out. While we're doing that, please throw in some questions in the chat for us and we will answer them for you. Do you have a good betting night on Monday?
What did I have? I had Cahoon goal, which didn't happen. I had Puljujärvi point, which did happen. And I had Oilers money line, which, as we know, more than happened.
You didn't take Nuge point?
No,
I did.
Point. Oh, yeah. So you...
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, exactly. Of course you did.
I bet on the Nuge 5-on-5 point. It was actually plus 1,200.
What is it? A Nuge point? You know what?
I just found it. Nuge 5-on-5 point plus 1,200.
I'm going Nuge over 1.5 tonight.
1.5 points?
Yeah, this is more so an impulse heart bet, so don't take my word for it. If you really feel good, just take Nuge over 0.5 point. But I'm going Nuge over.
Plus 280.
Plus 280. Jesse Puljujärvi still paying out plus odds for a point. He is playing with Connor McDavid, ladies and gentlemen.
How does Paul Stastny, the third line center, have worse odds for a goal or for a point than Puljujärvi? Paul Stastny is plus 100 and Puljujärvi is plus 120. That makes no sense.
I think that's the edge. I just keep betting Puljujärvi points. I see McDavid's gone down for over 2.5 just because he's automatic on the pace to 100.
The Jets are terrible. Danny says, what's up with Cassian? We don't know.
They say week to week.
Week to week, something to do with LBI.
which is
It's the bot,
scary.
it's his
So
leg or
he might be
something.
shut down for the regular season.
Yeah, likely will.
We only
be.
have like just over 2 weeks, 2 and a week and
Yeah.
a half weeks. So.
Yeah. Okay, Oilers are minus 119 on the money line, so they're a road favorite right now. Jets are plus 101, so it's more so of a pick 'em. Like minus 119, plus 101. It's not really.
It's
anything
going to be a
special.
tighter game tonight. You know,
Yeah.
the Jets are on the skids. That was their 5th loss in a row, so I was actually expecting them to be a tougher competitor than they were the other night. You expect Hellebuck to have a bounce back performance. But we just own the Jets. I don't know. My gut's telling me it's going to be a low scoring affair.
Yeah, I agree. You're big guy from down south. Placing any big bets tonight?
Actually, no. Not that I know of. I actually, no. Sorry, I was going to tell an anecdotal story, which means nothing to no one.
You can if you would like.
No. I value everyone's time.
Oilers are plus 135 in reg. What's the over-under at here? We're not big over-under guys, but if we were, you can get over 6.5 at plus 140, or actually you can get decent odds on the under or over 5.5. Over 5.5 is minus 128. So if you're looking at the over, that's actually a decent play at minus 128.
Oh, I might bet that regulation only. I don't like over-under only has regulation.
Oh yeah, that's weird. So if it's like 3-2 and it goes to overtime, then you would lose. That's dumb.
Yeah,
I
so
don't like
I
that.
might go under 5.5 seems real. Like I just have 3-2 etched in my brain.
Yeah.
But definitely pull your every point.
Yeah.
Maybe if you can find, it might not hurt just to throw a couple shekels because you got to think if he's even available. I don't see him on this book. I'll have to look at my other book.
Who,
Oh, there
McLeod?
he is, Dominic Cahoon.
Still no Ryan McLeod.
He's gonna get set up for a tap in.
Look at it here. No Dominic.
I'm sorry, are we
No.
boring you?
No. You're not boring me. I'm just tired. They just still don't give us Ryan McLeod odds here. James Lee says Cass needs fans in the stands to feed off of.
He also needs his health back.
Yeah, he also needs.
Yeah.
And he was playing good. I'm not going to harp on Zach Cassian because he was playing good before he got injured.
Yep.
Okay, Jay. Anything else you want to talk about? Voice crack. Talk about?
Well, once again, we are jockeying for position in the standings, and we want to put ourselves ahead of the Jets. Connor has even said as much publicly, so we need to beat the Jets tonight.
Yep. One other big announcement. I mentioned this at the beginning of the show. I told you guys that I was going to bring something up at the end of the show once Jay got here, because he's probably going to have a little bit of input on this as well. We've been working hard the last week and a half here to set something up for you. Yeah, working hard-ish. I was grinding on it today, trying to get all the details sorted out.
He's working hard.
But we have some big news coming up for playoffs, and we're going to start it this Saturday.
Yeah.
So we're starting up something new. You may have seen this across some other sports social media channels across North America, where they live stream live reactions to gameplay throughout games. So we're not going to do that yet. We're going to look at
Baby
potential.
steps.
We're taking baby steps.
We have to make sure you like it, and we have
Yes.
to make sure we like doing it.
Yes, we're going to potentially bring this in for playoffs because obviously we can't gather in a bar right now. We can't be sitting around tables and snapping it around. So we want to do something that's engaging for all of us during the games.
Yep.
So
Virtual watch parties.
we are bringing you the Oily Boys Intermission Extravaganza. What that means is we want to just chat with you during the intermissions, starting on Saturday. So Battle of Alberta, first intermission. We are going to be going live on Twitter, Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. And we're just going to be chatting about the game. So live.
Breaking it down.
Yeah, breaking it down.
We're going to take the Twitter
reaction.
conversation that's going with the in-game banter, and we're going to bring it into video form for 17 minutes for the intermission. We're also going to be, the reason why it's an extravaganza, I'm assuming you're all asking, is because we're going to be giving away prizes.
Yes.
Noodle, some nation gear.
Yes.
And we want to reward everyone for following along and engaging with us. So this is just like this show, opportunity for you to chime in, provide hot takes, funny commentary, keep the conversation going, and have some fun. Because, you know, one thing we do when playoffs that we can't do this year is we normally hold
huge parties.
Huge watch parties
Yeah.
for all the games. And we can't do that this year, so we're trying to figure out the virtual version of that.
Yeah.
So we're going to start with the intermission extravaganza.
Yep.
And then maybe we'll put it out to, you know, the full game.
Yeah, because that's one thing as well that Jay and I have talked about is that a lot of the time there's a lot of you that wish you could be, you know, sitting in the bars with your friends and just talking about the game live. So we thought, what other way would be good to do this is if you could just be a part of the conversation with us during the game. Like, I don't want to draw it back, but you may have seen Barstool does something called the electric chair, and that's kind of the structure that we're going to be following eventually. But for now, we're just going to start with the intermissions, and we're just going to give stuff away. And we're going to give away prizes, and we're just going to live react to the game. Jay put it perfectly when he said we're going to be taking the Twitter conversation and just bringing it into a live stream.
Yeah.
So be a part of the conversation.
That's essentially what our events are. It's just
Yes.
it's just face-to-face Twitter.
So please be a part of it. On Saturday night, Battle of Alberta, first intermission. The 3 people that are going to be starting on it is me, Coombsy, and Wanye. Yeah. So you guys all love Wanye. He's absolutely wild on Twitter during the games. That's the man that runs the Oilers Nation Twitter account during the games, and he just brings some electricity that no one else can.
I might jump in as a guest at one of the things.
And Jay is going to jump in maybe during the second. We're going to set it up and get Jay on during the second intermission as well. We're going to try to go live for both intermissions. Obviously, there'll be some technical stuff going on. Well, actually, Jay, you have to be a part of it because
we need my laptop.
We need your laptop.
I'm an important piece of this.
So I'm going to have to teach Jay how to run OBS off of his laptop. This is completely different than running it off this camera. So it'll be fun.
Yep.
We'll figure it out. So we wanted to let you know about that. Be ready. Saturday night, the Oily Boys Intermission Extravaganza makes its debut. So just be ready to have fun and just talk about Oilers hockey. And if we want to talk about McDavid just going supernova mode, if we want to talk about how bad the refs are, we're going to talk about everything. And it's going to be 17 minutes, 17 minutes of fun. Yeah. So yeah, Jay, thank you for joining the show today. Eventually,
thanks
really
for welcoming me late. Wow.
That's okay. This is your show.
Jeez.
I had
Is this my show?
This is your show.
This is your show.
This is your show. They had to help me earlier because I couldn't figure out how to say the word dejection. Dejection.
Oh, I get it. It's sometimes English language is hard.
It's tough. Enjoy the game tonight. Pick up your DEUCE vodka. Pick up your Nation beer. First half of a back-to-back, but tomorrow night it's going to be against the Flames here on home ice, I believe. Yes, I'm pretty sure. Anyways.
Sure.
Yeah. Enjoy the game. Bet responsibly.